And the Lord says, concerning the nations of South Africa, He told me to say, this wind you have seen, it is a rejection.
Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. When God's servant speaks, the wise should listen. On the 13th June 2026, Prophet Bright Mwansa received the word from the Lord. After the prophecy was released to the world. On the 7th July 2026, it started happening all over the world. Watch.
Yes, I was in my prayer meeting with God, and I saw a great wind blowing mightily, a great wind toward South Africa. It was blowing like it was big. It's more like an elephant against an ant. This is the wind that was blowing towards this ant. Then I asked God, what is the meaning of this big wind fighting against this ant? And the Lord says, concerning the nations of South Africa, He told me to say, this wind you have seen, it is a rejection. Against this ant, South Africa. It's more like many people countrywide stood against this particular ant, an elephant against ant, and this ant was South Africa. And God told me there are going to be rejection. South Africa, they are going to face rejection concerning what they have done, what they have committed their wrongs. They have committed a lot of things concerning this elephant. And I saw this ant going to an elephant asking for the help, and the elephant was pushing away this ant. It was pushing away in a such that an ant started crying. An ant, everything was stuck for her.
Now, Ghana has declined a planned state visit by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, citing growing concerns over xenophobic attacks in South Africa. The decision comes in the wake of the death of 40-year-old Bashiru Isaac, a Ghanaian national who authorities say was killed during demonstrations linked to renewed anti-foreigner violence on June 30th, 2026. President Ramaphosa had been expected to visit Ghana in the first week of August in a trip meant to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. But government sources say the current security climate makes such high-level engagement premature, with the safety of Ghanaians in South Africa now taking priority. Ghanaian officials say Isaac was shot and killed during anti-immigrant demonstrations in Cape Town's township. And government has since lodged a formal protest with South African authorities over his death and the wider safety concerns facing Ghanaian nationals there. However, South Africa has pushed back on Ghana's account of events. Justice Minister Mamoloko Kubayi says no deaths were recorded during the June 30th demonstrations, describing Ghana's claims as factually incorrect and accusing Ghanaian authorities of spreading false information that unfairly brands the Rainbow Nation as xenophobic. Diplomatic disagreement has introduced fresh tensions into a relationship built on decades of cooperation in trade, investment, and regional affairs, with Ghana now pressing for stronger protections for its citizens abroad as both nations attempt to manage the fallout. We will have a conversation with our diplomatic affairs correspondent Martin Date on this subject matter. But as you know, Ghana will not be the only country responding this way. As far as South Africa's position on anti-foreign protests is concerned. As you very well heard from that intro earlier, this visit was planned for August, which has been in the works before the protests in South Africa leading to the death of one Ghanaian. We already know that the Ghanaian government has brought home hundreds of Ghanaians who voluntarily left South Africa, left their lives behind over fears for their lives because of these protests. The South African demonstrators or anti-foreign demonstrators had given, foreigners, African nationals to be specific, up to June 30th to leave the country or face consequences. Leading up to that, we heard about the death of Bashir Isaac. We have subsequently been told that it's not connected with Afrophobic attacks in South Africa. But of course, the Ghanaian government has already made its position known on how Ghanaians were being treated, and essentially, or by extension, how Africans have been treated in South Africa over the last few weeks or several weeks. Now, the Ghanaian government has taken an even bolder decision, declining that visit from Cyril Ramaphosa, who's president of South Africa. We also know that countries like Mozambique have also taken action, driving away some South Africans who live in the country. South African artists could not get shows to perform at in places within the southern Eastern African region. So there have been consequences, and Ghana is the latest to punch in a consequence by declining that state visit from the presidency of South Africa, from the office of Cyril Ramaphosa. Now,
So, God further told me to say, this aunt must ask for forgiveness. The aunt must ask for forgiveness for this enormous elephant. If South Africa won't ask for forgiveness about their wrong, they are going to face more precautions. They are going to face more death, rejection, and they are going to be citizens that fighting each other against each other. This is what I am seeing, because God says it is enough.